Everyone's story is different, but for many of our clients, it starts right here in Lithuania. Let's hear from one of them about why they chose Baltic Capital Partners and how we made their EU residency simple.
When I was looking to come to Europe and right from the word go, we weren't quite too sure what to do. There's a lot of misinformation, a lot of information and misinformation out there. Lots of people coming from the UK, I think lots of companies there because they obviously get English and UK people into the country. And so, but it was really, really expensive and it was really, really unclear on the returns that they promised to give you, etc. So I just wasn't really comfortable with dealing with anyone else, and then I was referred to BCP, and right from the get-go everything was fine, everything was clear, everything was laid out, and I knew exactly where I stood, so my decision process was made so much easier. I guess whatever you start with, you got to wonder whether it's legitimate, because we get one price from one particular company or whatever we're looking at with all your Greek or Portugal or Spanish golden visas. So I guess the first thing you really worry about is whether it's legitimate. Now in this particular case, I was referred to BCP by a guy that I trust, so the worry was really taken out of it, but at the same time you want to check it out and make sure it's legitimate. Well, first and foremost, Vilnius surprised us, just like we were just blown away with Vilnius. What a beautiful place. And then the service that Aaron and Kendall and the BCP team provided with all sorts of stuff that we required. And then arriving here and made feel so welcome, and we had a great time. So it was just great fun. Well, that's quite an interesting story right from the word go. So we spent 7 months in Europe last year, that's 2024, and we wanted to come back up and do it because there's so much to see here and so much to enjoy. And I thought about driving up here and bringing our motorhome from Australia, but then I sort of forgot about it and didn't really pursue it again. Anyway, we arrived back in Australia. Cut a long story short, my cousin introduced me a guy who told me that he was driving up to Europe through Russia. After a 45-minute conversation with him, I talked to my wife and said, hey, I want to do this, and we decided to do it. So we've driven our vehicle, we shipped it to Japan, then across to South Korea, then we landed in Vladivostok, and we drove through Russia, through Siberia, into Mongolia, back into Russia, up through Moscow and St. Petersburg, and into Estonia and down to Lithuania, and here we are. And what an awesome adventure it was, and it's been so great to get up here and enjoy the European lifestyle, and we got in here before all the rules changed, which is even better. We'll use our van for several years until we decide to maybe get another one or do what we're going to do. But there's so much to see and so much time and things to enjoy here in Europe, and the history and the old cities, and as I sort of said, Vilnius has blown us away. I mean, really 12 months ago I probably didn't know anything about Lithuania, and now we've got our home on wheels up here. BCP, of course, they got us up here and showed us what we could do and what we could achieve, and really suited our goals and what we wanted to do, which is not have to worry about Schengen rules and 90 days in and 90 days out, especially now that the rules have got tighter. Not that we would have not passed the rules that they requested, but you still have to do 90 days out of 180, and with Schengen expanding, that made it even more difficult. So now we don't have to worry about that.
Another success story made possible by Baltic Capital Partners, your gateway to Europe.